56.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome everyone that's here in our chambers and all those who are watching it in TV land. I've asked Dell Robertson to give us an invocation. Our Father in heaven, humbly we bow our heads before Thee this evening at the beginning of this city council meeting and pray for Thy Spirit to be with us and to guide and direct our elected officials as they make important decisions regarding our city. Father, we wish to express our gratitude to Thee for this free land, this promised land that we live in, the freedoms that we enjoy here, and particularly for this wonderful city that we live in, for all of the wonderful residents who so willingly give of their time and resources to help make this a better place to live. And we give Thee thanks for them. And once again, pray for Thy Spirit to be here with us at this time, this evening, and do so in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks, Dale. I've asked Councilman Argyle to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise and repeat the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Appreciate that. All right, public comments. Anyone from the public that would like to come up and address the mayor and the council, you're sure welcome to come on up. Seeing none, we'll go to council comments, and I'd like to start. First of all, we've had a great thing happen here in our community and with one of our members of our city council, Councilman Scobes, or should I call him Colonel Scobes, just got promoted to colonel, full colonel, and taken over the MASH unit. Or maybe you're not taking that unit, I'm not sure. Which, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, you salute.
So I just wanted to, last Saturday he got promoted to a full bird colonel and taken over, what is it?
Brigade.
The brigade. So we're pretty excited for that, for him and his family and for Spanish Fork, so he'll represent. So does that mean you'll protect us very well here and make sure we're first on the agenda?
Yes, I will, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next thing I'd like to talk about is we've heard a lot of talk about our All Abilities Park. And Dell is going to talk to us a little bit more in detail, and also Tyler. But I just wanted to make a comment about our All Abilities Park. We finally have found some property through the great effort of Seth and Tyler. There's been some interesting, I don't know if you call them miracles, but I would call them miracles that has happened for us to get this ground for this All Abilities Park. And I'll tell you what, I just wanted to shout out to Seth and to Tyler and to Dell for all their efforts behind the scenes to make this work, because a lot of things just fell into place on this particular piece of property. It'll be up on Canyon Road. I'm not sure exactly. 1100 East. So Dell will give us a little more information on that, but I just wanted to let you know that we've got some great guys that were working hard to make that happen, and now the hard start come after this. So just wanted to shout out to that. Okay, then let's go Councilman Scobes.
Thank you, Mayor.
Scobes.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of small things. First, just a reminder, this next week is Veterans Day. The Veterans Assemblies are going to be happening at the end of this week, Friday, as well as the first part of next week at local schools. And so the veterans organizations are working hard just to make sure that the next generation learn about patriotism, learn about the freedoms that we have. And part of that is learning and understanding the role that they have to play when they're 18 to be able to vote. With the elections tonight that are taking place, certainly making sure that these generations know and understand that. Also, we had, at my high school, we had the QPR, that's it. We had the QPR training, the suicide awareness training at my high school. It was great, being that it was a group from Spanish Fork, coming from the initiatives that Spanish Fork City has been able to do through the active and healthy lifestyle, the different grants and things that Councilman Mendenhall and others have been working on. They did a great job in presenting to the high school, to the teachers, just being able to look at and recognize the warning signs in the kids and how to be able to do that. As we come into the holiday season, there's a time that, though it's full of glad tidings of great joy, it's also a time that can also be quite the opposite, the polar opposite for many people. I know many of our soldiers oftentimes have a hard time with that, so just be aware of those around you that may be facing a difficult time. Though it is a happy time of the year, there are also an increasingly number of stresses placed upon people, financial and otherwise. So just be aware of neighbors, friends, family members, those around you. QPR team, they did an absolutely fantastic job. Susan, Amber, Bronco, just great to have them there and representing Spanish Fork here in our local community. And so that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Mendenhall.
Thank you, Mayor. Had a few meetings with a couple of different organizations. No report on them next council meeting. I just wanted to take a minute tonight with Election Day upon us and just thank all of my colleagues that sit up here for what you do. I don't even like Brandon. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. But it's interesting how this week, just in and of itself, the thought across my mind has been how much I see you guys doing what you do, and I know the city does as well. But again, I apologize. But just the examples of yesterday being with Councilmember Beck at 7:30 in the morning with a bunch of other volunteers in the community that had better things to do, namely sleep, and regular full-time jobs. But to be with you guys and Councilmember Beck and start the day off that way about discussing how we can better our community, better our business community, and then seeing her again at the beginning of another meeting at 7 at night, made for a full day of her duties and what she does. So I appreciate. I know that's just a sample of what she does every week for the community. Same thing can go for Councilman Scobes of again, just the report back to me of the QPR folks that were just so thankful they were at your school and thankful for your leadership, what you do in your day job, but how you represent your community all over the state and especially in protecting our freedoms. So, geez, again, I don't know what it is, but for how many people see you and see what you do is an awesome thing. Mayor, the examples this week of a few people telling me where they've seen you, the selfless help that you give the community as a whole, but always make a point to represent your city and the people that live here. Multiple people have told me how thankful they are that you represent our city on many fronts. Councilman Gordon calling me at waking me up at 5 in the morning, being at different meetings. I mean, geez, come on now. But all over the state of where he goes to represent our city and do what he can outside of his family life, outside of his work life. Again, I know many people see it, but It's just happened to be this week that I was a witness to it as well. So, again, thankful for all you do. Councilman Argyle, spent some time with him on the phone at a late night this week, and I know he had better things to do, but he's concerned about his community, about representing his community, about the state as a whole, and we had a discussion about that, and I know people see that in him as well for the selfless time you give. So, again, I didn't plan any of that except to say I'm thankful for on Election Day to serve with all of you, but also serve with many of the organizations in our community that step up, that go to 7 a.m. meetings and 7 at night meetings and 10 at night meetings, and that's what, again, that's the secret sauce of our community, is everybody stepping up and stepping outside themselves and serving each other. And this week has just been one of those that it seems like I've seen it every day last week and so far this week. So grateful for the freedoms we enjoy and for today being Election Day, but thankful for all of you and the examples you are to our community, and I'll report on the other board meetings next time there. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilman Gordon.
Thank you, Mayor. Start off by also congratulating Councilman Scobes. That's a tremendous accomplishment, and I'm proud of you and grateful for your service. I'd like to invite Heather Youd, our chamber director, up to give us a rundown on the chamber going on.
So I know it's election day for the city, but it's also election time for the chamber. We are running our board elections. We actually have 9 seats open this time, which is a lot. It's going to definitely put us out of balance a little bit, but that's just the way it goes because of who is deciding to run for vice chair this year. So those are running until the 13th. So if you are a member of the chamber, please take the time to vote. We have our business of the month. This month it's Macy's. They actually do quite a bit for our community. They actually donate a cake every month to our business of the month winners. I talked to Bill and we said, do you really want to donate your own cake? And he said he would happily do that. So Bill is great. He does a lot for the community. So
He does.
on the 19th, we are doing a ribbon cutting for Clegg Auto, and that will be at noon. On the 20th, we are having our new networking luncheon down at the fairgrounds in the High Chaparral building. We will have Gail Halverson coming to speak to us. He is the Berlin Candy Bomber, if you aren't aware of who he is. And then on the 21st, we have a ribbon cutting for Learning Dynamics Preschool. And then that same night, we are having a workshop down at the fairgrounds for the Valley Visioning Summit. The Valley Visioning process has been going through, it's been in the works for a couple years now. Envision Utah is taking over that process, and they've done a great job. They've collected different groups and gotten input from studies, and this is kind of a culmination of that, and they're just kind of deciding priorities. So if you want to be involved in how the county grows, please come to that workshop and give your input. And the last thing is the Winter Lights Parade. Yay!
Yippee.
We love the Lights Parade.
Yes, we do.
It's fun. So it will be on the 29th this year, so you have a little bit of extra time to get your float done. So if you want to submit an application to be part of the parade, please do so. It's on the chamber website. So, all right, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Heather. Appreciate again, as always, your work does not go without notice. We really appreciate all you do for the chamber and our business community. Scott, you got a few pictures. I was able to. Oh, this is not where we started. We're going to go backwards, but that's okay. One of the things that the chamber has partnered with, really taking over from the city, was the farmers market, and this picture is really a marking of the last Saturday of the farmers market. But every Saturday we wrap up at the farmers market at 1, and then our clan goes over to Barry's, and it's the circle of business, if you will, right? We end up all having a nice hamburger in town, but this one marked the end of the farmers market year and season, which was a great success as always, and I'm going to try and keep it together. As we ended, as we walked around, I won't cry unless I'm talking about my dad, because he's a pretty cool dude. He walked down and told every vendor he loved him. Imagine that. And it's a family, if you will, our farmers market family. What'd you start? Sorry. Golly. But I'm proud of where I come from and who I am, and it's a lot of from that. And so, anyway, it was just really super cool to watch him go up to and just thank everyone, because if you've ever planted something and watched it grow and then saw it to the end, it's quite a process. And he has taught us the appreciation of what it means to farm, and it's not easy, but being surrounded by family is probably the most important part of it. So I didn't expect that picture to do that to me, but thanks, Scott. We can roll to the next one. And so let's talk about garbage. I was lucky enough to go to Phoenix with Chris Thompson and other members of the garbage district that we're a member of. And the main insight for us was to discuss the future building of the transfer station that will be relocated from Springville into Spanish Fork. The next few slides, if you want to click through some of those. This was one of the 2 transfer stations we were able to tour in Phoenix area. They have really 2 examples. One that's not a pretty building, but it accomplishes what they need to. And then this one was the more pretty building that's more around development. And so we've had some really good, next slide, ideas of different things that happen inside of these buildings. The reason it's blurry at the top is there's misters going. These misters keep dust down and odors and all these things that go into a new building, where our transfer station in Springville was opened in 1989 after we closed the landfill in Spanish Fork behind the new Lowe's and the Kmart area. And so our building is obviously outdated, and this newer technology are things that we're implementing into it. Areas that separate. The side there on your left is being operated by the private sector, and they have a recycling facility on that side, and on the other side is the picture that I took of the garbage being brought in from the other. And this hallway gives an area for a lot of educational opportunities, as you can imagine, from college kids all the way down to preschool to be able to come, and there's a lot of different art displayed in a hallway like this, and just great different perspectives. I found a donut shop down there too, and so wanted to make sure the mayor knew that Bosa Donuts is worthy of good donuts. I don't go places without finding a good donut shop. Is there any others?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Well, can I just interject here? I called Chris Thompson, and he said, yeah, we're in Phoenix, Brandon and I, on a matter, and I forgot that you were down there. And I said, well, how's it going on the golf course? And he said, actually, we gave up the golf trip to go look at the transfer station. So it's glad to see you had proof that you guys were there.
We looked at each other and had an opportunity to play golf, and we both said we probably better go make sure we do the work.
Nice job.
So we did the work, but it was good. I'm trying to think of the last thing. The last thing I will report on is I will be in Moab tomorrow for a meeting that I thought was scheduled last week. I drove to Moab last Wednesday, and only to find out that the meeting was a week later. And so I will go to that meeting tomorrow, Mayor, and it gave me a great opportunity to actually reflect on my grandma who had passed that morning. And I shared that with a lot of these individuals, and much to the same thing Mike expressed, we have a great relationship with all the people up here. I tell you what, they all either in some way or another called, reached out, sent flowers and things of that nature, and just we fight a lot up here, we disagree and on a lot of things, but at the end of the day, we all understand that we're all in this together for the better of the people of Spanish Fork. So just really appreciated all your outpouring love and support during the loss of my grandma. She's a great woman. So, and that is all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Great. Councilman Argal.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd also express the opportunity that I've had to serve with each one of these individuals. Thanks for the kind comments, Mike. As I watch each one of them do what they do, and then I always think, I'm retired, and I think, none of them are. I had to think. I was thinking the mayor was, but
Thanks. I got to pay for this habit of being the mayor.
yeah. I'm retired, and I see what they do for our city, and I think, how? And I have meetings and things to go to, but they put in that extra effort for this wonderful city, and I'm grateful to be a part of that. I just would like to make one comment concerning the All Abilities Park. I'm so excited about this. It's been a long time to find that piece of ground. And I would like to thank, we had an open house to just gain a little bit of insight and some information, and I'd like to thank those families that showed up to that and expressed their concerns, their wishes, their interests, and their excitement about the future of this park. It's something that Spanish Fork does not have, which that's obviously a rare, but is something awesome that when we get this done in short order, because we're going to have to do it quite quick. Dale and his department's going to be really busy over the next couple of months, but I'm excited for it to be in our community and another quality of life and an awesome asset that will benefit this city, and I'm grateful that we'll have the opportunity to build that in Spanish Fork. Thank you.
Councilmember Back.
A couple things. First of all, just echoing congratulations to Councilman Scobes. That was fun to be over and support you in that. So congratulations, you'll be fantastic. A couple little shout outs to the Chamber of Commerce. They hosted a South County Business Summit. Scott, if you'll pull up the group picture. There were really fabulous speakers there. We had the U.S. Chamber, we had Al Switzer from Crucial Conversations, and local world-class performer and speaker Brad Barton. So it was a great morning together through lunch. The speakers were great, and I really felt like it was a great opportunity for the members of the Chamber to get return on investment on their membership. And I look forward to attending these meetings in the future. It was really fantastic. And then thank the Chamber also for Trick or Treat on Main. Look who was down there.
Oh
the
my
mayor
God.
with some of the Spanish Fork Parks and Rec employees handing out candy. Over 2,000 kids, correct? I mean, people running out of candy.
It was crazy.
It is just bumper to bumper
I had
in
my
people.
grandson down there, and
Yeah, it was incredible, and I liked that it's not just Main Street businesses, it's businesses all over the community that come down and give back, so that was really great. So thanks again to the Chamber for that. A couple updates with the library. I just wanted to report on the adult classes in the last fiscal year. There were 81 programs. This is just for the adults, 893 participants. So as our library board met a couple weeks back, we're planning for 2020. The programs, they're already planned out from January to March. There's a lot of fun things that are going to be happening, so that's always exciting. And then just an update, I've been to a couple meetings since our last council with the library feasibility study. Last week, about 10 of us took a tour up to Salt Lake City and toured 3 libraries. This is a picture of the drop where everyone wants to drop their libraries off, not go inside. And what is this called, Scott?
The sorter.
The sorter, which was so intriguing. All of us adults stood around like little kids just watching it sort into all the different baskets, and it was super cool. We were able to get a lot of great ideas that day of things we wanted to do, hoped to do, didn't want to do, but we do want to invite the community out to our current library next Wednesday night. It's November 13th from 6 to 8 p.m. Pizza, will be there. It'll be an opportunity for the residents to give feedback. There's going to be some surveys, and we would love your opinion. So again, we invite you to come out to that. And then I wanted to give a shout out to SFCN. They were everywhere in October. I felt like October was a busy month for me, and I think everywhere I went there was SF17 and their crew. They were at different election campaign things, chamber events, their Halloween movie, studio chatter, trick-or-treating, football games. They're a busy crew, so shout out to SFCN. And if I can just share a little clip. We have some soft men up here obviously crying, so we'll show them what I can do. Yeah. We need the volume for sure.
I'm scared. Safety glasses.
Whoa.
We should.
No.
Oh, it's just coming out of my computer.
No volume.
Yeah. Don't leave me hanging.
That's just dust from the mountain. Did you miss?
I got the mountain. Oh, look at that. Let that be a warning to anybody that wants to go invade Stacy's house.
No, they're a fun crew, SFCN. So thank you, Pete, Travis, Spencer, everyone down there. Adam, thank you. So I think that's all I have.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, that was awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you. All right, Spanish Fork 101, MAG Regional Transportation Plan. My good friend and buddy, Sean Sager.
That's right. Thank you so much, Mayor. Appreciate letting us have a little bit of time tonight on the agenda. Nice of you to do that. We don't want to take up too much of your time tonight, but wanted you to have a brief understanding of the document that we put in front of your desk tonight and tell you a little bit about the transportation plan that's recently been adopted by the mayors and county commissioners in Utah County, and answer any questions you guys might have about it and give you a brief introduction to it. This is the MAG website. If you're ever interested in going to this website, I'll give you a little bit of a navigation of how to get into this document. And while we do that, I'll tell you about some of the other services MAG offers as well. If you go to Transportation Planning, and then we come down to Regional Transportation Plan, and I'm going to click on this first box called Plan Development. And that just shows you a little bit about the area, who we partner with, and what we do in Utah County. And this is really a partnership in Utah County between UDOT, UTA, and all the cities in Utah County, working together to create a transportation plan that's hopefully going to meet the demand of our area. Our building, most of our staff are located in Orem on 800 North. We do things like Meals on Wheels for senior citizens. If you know of any shut-in seniors or singles, let us know. We're happy to get someone out there and do an assessment on them, make sure that they're getting taken care of. And we do some heat programs as well, emergency heating payments, weatherization program, weatherizing homes that need to be brought up to code and brought up to energy efficiency standards. We do a little bit of community planning work for some cities that don't have planners. And then we do a little bit of economic development work as well with a revolving loan fund and some CDBG funds and such. So real quickly, the Wasatch Choice for 2050, that's basically our vision. We take your general plans and we sew them together with Springville, Payson, the surrounding communities. We put those plans together and then we put it into a computer model and we try to model what that's going to do in terms of total population and employment growth. I think you guys are probably keenly aware that Utah County is growing fast, and Utah County will continue to be the leader in growth through the year 2050. Utah County will add more people than Salt Lake, Davis, and Weber counties combined, which just blows me away every time I say that. Take all those people that are going to go into Weber, Davis, Salt Lake, and Utah County will grow more in absolute numbers than those other three combined. So we have a big challenge ahead of us. And a couple of things that we've noticed is as where that population is growing is significant growth in the south. So today we're about 150,000. In the future we're going to be 400,000 people south of Provo. So more than double in the south. If you ever want to zoom in on this map, you can kind of take that cursor, you can zoom right in, and it will show you what kind of population we have today by census tract, what kind of population we'll have in the year 2050 by census tract. So you can actually see where we think that growth will occur. And that's working with your city planners and the construction monitor and building permit data that we try to do that work with. I'm not going to go through much more of the data piece unless you guys have specific questions. I'm just going to tell you that there's a couple things that we're kind of concerned about. A grid network. If you're in Salt Lake County, you're familiar with how Salt Lake County has a very nice 1 mile grid spacing. You think about, 13 south and then 21 south and 33 south and 45th and 53 and 72 interchanges off of I-15. They've got a very nice grid network. In Utah County, we don't enjoy that kind of a grid yet, and we have to really concentrate on establishing a grid. And so we've proposed a grid network, working with some of your staff at your cities, and if you can zoom in on this, you can see some of these highlighted connections that we still think need to take place and that would be great additions to the network. What a grid does is it gives you multiple choices. So it gives you choice as to where you can get from a particular area to another area. Another concern of ours is I-15 in Utah County. I-15 is failing in Salt Lake County today. We see huge demand on I-15 in the future. We need to figure out a plan for I-15. We see some massive investment in transit with Front Runner, commuter rail, as well as a bus rapid transit system, maybe down Main Street, down 89 and down through this area. We need to start working on those projects. In fact, I think we'll have an opportunity to fund some of the studies associated with that coming up soon. At the very end of this web map, you'll see a section on the TIP project selection process. So what that is we create a transportation plan that the mayors and county commissioners adopt, and then we actually program money to it. So I think Thursday night.
Well,
Yeah, tomorrow.
we have tomorrow plus Thursday night.
Yep, so I get to see the mayor 3 times this week. You know, the amount of volunteer work you guys do. The amount of volunteer work you guys do is truly amazing to us as staff. And so I'll be with the mayor tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday night. And Thursday night, we're going to start the process to apply for funds to build that transportation plan. We do this every 2 years. We pick projects. Your staff is already working on applications. About $90 million will be allocated by the mayor and along with his associates in Utah County. We'll be going through a 6-month project selection process to do that. That's federal funds and county sales tax funds. About 90 to 95 million will be available to do that. Please get with your staff if you have any concerns or questions about that. There's also a section on here talking about innovative financing of projects. If you ever have any, if your staff has any concerns about how to finance stuff or to get creative on things, please let us know. We want to work with you. And then I just wanted to see if you guys had any questions for us or if there's anything I could answer or any concerns that you're working on.
I keep them up to date. So.
I know you do a good job. We appreciate your staff's involvement in this. Every month, your staff gets together in a technical committee, and then every month your mayor attends a policy committee meeting, and just appreciate Spanish Fork's involvement in those 2 committees.
Sure appreciate all the work you do.
Happy to do it.
This guy's awesome. We're lucky to have him, and so thanks for all you do, and can't wait to see you tomorrow
Yep.
and the next day.
Yeah, we'll be
Hopefully
hitting it.
that's all.
I hope so too.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna pass on B on 101. We're gonna kick that down the road. All right, consent items.
Motion to approve the consent items.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Gordon, a second by Councilman Mendenhall. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. New business, voluntary cleanup program agreement with the Department of Environmental Quality.
So as you're aware, the city purchased a parcel of property which is located at 601 South Main Street, right next to our fairgrounds. Because of the historical use of this property, there's a requirement by the DEQ, the Division of Environmental Quality, that we enter into an agreement with them. It's called a VCP agreement, or a voluntary cleanup program. And so what we're asking tonight is for you to approve that so that we can facilitate a relationship between the city and the DEQ to accomplish the cleanup of this piece of property, or at least get an assessment of how much it will cost to clean up the property.
Any questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the voluntary cleanup program agreement with DEQ.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilmember Beck, a second by Councilman Scobes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Land purchase agreement, Patricia Jack's property. Oh, yes, you. Everybody's been waiting for all the details.
Well, we're going to leave them some cliffhangers, just so you know. Yeah, we're excited about this announcement. Things are a little crazy around the city right now. We received what Seth has affectionately called a priority changing donation. Councilman Mendenhall talked about people who step outside themselves and are very community minded, and this family's one of them. And they've listened and paid attention to meetings and things that took place during their RAP discussions and other things, and that this All Abilities Park would be a neat thing to have in our city. And so rather than sit around and wait for it, they decided to jumpstart it with a significant donation. So we're very grateful for that. It's caused utter chaos in our life, which I think they find a little bit of joy in. But more importantly, they want to do what's best for Spanish Fork City. And so we're going to build an All Abilities Park. A couple of stipulations that came with that, and one that's causing us the most grief, is it's got to be built by Fiesta Days next year. That's a tall order, but we're running. We've pulled rabbits out of our hat before, and so we're going to try to do it again. So the first thing we had to do is go, well, where are we going to put this park? We didn't have a piece of property that we actually felt comfortable. It had good access and good exposure and all the things we wanted for this particular type of park. And maybe for those out in TV land that don't know what an All Abilities Park is, because I make the assumption that everybody knows. And if everybody's been to Thunder Junction in St. George, they know what an All Abilities Park is. But it is just what the name implies, and that is it has something for all abilities. It's got access for those with special needs, but also things that entertain able-bodied people as well. So it's a park for everybody. And I appreciate Councilman Argyle bringing up the open house. That I had my eyes opened. We invited just particular families here that had special needs, and we wanted to know what are your challenges when you go to a park? What types of things do you like to see in a park? Because I don't live in their world. I don't know what obstacles they run into. And my eyes were opened. The thing that was the most glaring, though, was these people were so grateful. I don't know how many times those of you that were there heard that. but they were so grateful that we had thought of them, that the city had thought of their needs, and just rant and raved about that as they shared with us their experiences. And we had them all fill out a little form, and so I took those to the office and read them later, and it just moved me. And some of the things that they're faced with a family with one special needs child, and I've got to go to several different parks to meet all their needs. You can't have a family gathering in the same park because it doesn't meet everybody's need. And so that's what this park is about, and we're excited about it. It's going to be something special for our community. So our first task was to go find a piece of property that we felt was the right one. And the mayor mentioned this before, but this property was actually under contract with another developer. So there were some miracles that took place. There were some doors that were opened, and we're excited about this. And the contract that we want to get approved is we have had this contract or agreement assigned over to the city. This developer was willing to walk away from this property, let us take the agreement that was already in place with this property owner. She consented as well. And so we're moving forward, fast and furious. There's a little over 10 acres there. You can see, and Tyler put this slide together. This was, and I appreciate that. Shows you the cost of the property, $1.89 million. Again, the other thing I need to have you guys act on, though, is there was 20 shares of East Bench Canal water on this property. It was included with the purchase of the property, and this previous owner, developer, had already put $30,000 into this. I think that was the number. I'm probably making that up. That might be wrong. $25,000 into the property, and so the city felt like we needed to transfer those rights of that water to Land Tech. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, to Land Tech LLC. So that's the other thing we need you to act on tonight, is we're going to transfer those shares of that East Bench Canal Company water to that company.
Is that the developer person?
Yes. Yeah, Land Tech is the name of this company. So we're excited about this. We've been spending the last several days, the last week. We've hired an architect firm, Insight Design, who is working frantically to put designs together. They presented us with several different layouts in just a few days turnover, and we've been having meeting after meeting with staff and public and trying to get input and feedback on these. And we will bring some of those to you once they're in a reasonable order, instead of just scattered chaos with too many things that really blow your mind. But we'll be bringing those to you as well to get your feedback on them once we've narrowed those pieces down. We're just trying to get all the pieces of the puzzle out on the table so we can put it together. But we are excited that this has fallen into place, and they really couldn't do anything site-wise until we had a location. So now we got some things moving forward, and we're excited about it. Any questions you have for me? We need to entertain a motion to be able to approve the agreement.
Any comments? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve land purchase agreement for the Patricia Jex property and 20 shares of East Bench Canal to Land Tech transfer?
No, that's technically not a transfer, we can't do that.
Okay.
He's retaining those rights.
Okay.
We just said the purchase agreement, we're good,
We need to acknowledge that he's retaining
and just mention that he's retaining
Conditions
the.
exchange.
East
and
Bench water.
And that he's retaining the 20 shares of East Bench Canal water.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Argal, a second by Councilman Gordon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great opportunity, great day to get that done. I just make a point, we have looked at a lot of sites and over the time, and so, like I said, it was a miracle this thing came up and it worked. All right, resolution 19, woo.
Well, just real quick, Mayor, I sent Scott a short video of maybe one of the parents that attended the
Yep.
meeting. That was pretty important, I think, to the aspect of what this means to families in our community. This is a family right here in our community, but you can see that this is going to be a blessing to families all over the community. Scott, is that okay to?
I could do it a little quicker, but he forgot to shave.
Got to shave today.
My name is Jessica. I am the mom of Lincoln. Lincoln is now just about to turn 3 years old. When Lincoln was born, he was a completely healthy baby. When he was about 6 weeks old, he developed a cold, and I took him to the doctors. And within a few hours, he stopped breathing in my arms. And Lincoln ended up being flown to a children's hospital, and it was there that we discovered that he had group B strep meningitis. As a result of not breathing and the meningitis, he suffered severe brain injury, and he's since developed seizures, cortical visual impairment, and he has hydrocephalus. I remember coming home from the hospital and not really knowing what to expect. I didn't know what our future was going to look like because he was really healthy. So I anticipated just a normal life. Lincoln had sustained an injury to his right leg in the hospital. It was due to a blood clot, and I learned very quickly that her life was going to be different. I had to personally change his dressing on his leg. It was the majority of his leg. I had to change it 3 times a day. I had to give him strong pain meds to keep it so that he was able to somewhat tolerate the pain. And we immediately had doctor's appointments. We were seeing all sorts of pediatric specialists, addressing all of the new concerns that he now had. At that time, I was in shock. I was still dealing with the fact that my perfectly healthy baby had stopped breathing and is suddenly constantly in the hospital and facing all these challenges. And so we decided that we would move to Utah. We would move where there's family. As soon as we got to Utah, I got in immediately, and we found a pediatrician, and the pediatrician knew that Lincoln was not meeting developmental milestones as he should be. Those things were not even on my mind because I was more worried about keeping him alive, getting him the medications, the surgeries, all the life-sustaining things that he needed at the time. And we were referred almost immediately to Kids Who Count. We had been in many hospitals, many doctors' offices. I've seen many people work with Lincoln, but I didn't know what Kids Who Count would do, what their role was going to be. I quickly learned that Kim was going to be pivotal in Lincoln reaching any milestones, really. She was able to help me see what I could be doing, how I could adapt our normal everyday routines in order to help Lincoln grow stronger. Kids Who Count has given us resources as far as knowledge of what a typical kid should be doing and how I can help Lincoln reach those. Kids Who Count has also helped me to adapt our home to best meet Lincoln's needs. Kids Who Count has also given me the opportunity to meet other moms who have children with disabilities and to form those connections and know that I'm not alone. Being a single mom and having a special needs child is hard. when I'm out with friends or cousins and I see their children, it's really hard not to compare and see all the things that my child's not doing. And so to be with another mom who has experienced those same things really lets you know that it's okay. And that you can be okay, and that you can still succeed, and that I just want to say thank you to Kids Who Count.
Brian Kay got us in touch with, from Nebo School District that we all know, got us in touch with Kelsey at Kids Who Count, who sent us a nice email with that clip of Jessica and her son Lincoln, and you can just imagine the Jessicas and Lincolns that be at our park, which is pretty cool.
It's way cool. It was awesome to have them up there at that open house and be a part of that, so it was cool. All right, moving on, Resolution 19-20, authorizing the sewer plant manager to sign and submit state required reports.
Thank you, Mayor. So, as you probably know, our sewer treatment facility is highly regulated by the state based on federal requirements. Part of those, we have to do monthly testing. We have to send test results up to the state. We have to file various type of reports concerning the operation of our facility and with the test results. Our plant manager has done that forever and ever, and the state recently came to Corey, our plant manager, and said, you know, this should be signed by the mayor, the governing authority. Well, we've already heard you talk about how busy you all are, and that's just one more thing the mayor doesn't need and really doesn't need to take the time to understand what all those reports mean and the time to fill them out. So this resolution that authorizes our treatment plant manager to fill those reports out as he has done and his predecessor before him has done for many years. Questions?
I mean, I don't get to do it anymore? No, thank you. Please pass this. All right, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve resolution number 19-20, authorizing the sewer plant manager to sign and submit state-required reports.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Gordon, a second by Councilman Scobes. This is going to be a roll call vote. Councilman Argyle.
Aye.
Councilmember Beck.
Aye.
Councilman Gordon.
Aye.
Councilman Mendenhall.
Aye.
Councilman Scobes.
Aye.
Thank you. That passes. All right, fence approval request, 80th East and 700 North.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For fences or walls that are taller than 6 feet, the City Council's approval is required. In this particular case, there's currently a wire fence that is supplemented by vegetation, basically a hedge or vinery that's 6 feet tall between two properties. So this is a side yard. And the property owner that owns the green part and the wire part would like to replace that with a fence. And in order to maintain the same kind of privacy that they enjoy today, that fence would need to be 7 feet tall. I've been out, I've looked at it, and in this particular case, I think it makes perfect sense to allow for a 7-foot tall fence. It'd be approximately 35 feet long along the side yard. I view it as fairly insignificant and ask that you approve this request.
Any questions, comments?
It's just a vinyl fence?
That's what you would like to construct, yes.
All right, if nobody else, I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve fence approval request at 80 East, 700 North.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Scobes, a second by Councilmember Beck. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Discussion? All right.
I move we go into closed session for reasonably imminent litigation and land transaction.
A motion by Councilman Gordon,
Second.
second by Councilman Argyle. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for everyone that was here tonight.